Welcome back. I'm still with columnist Rod Liddle. Rod, let's talk about, if we must, Gregg Wallace. The BBC has now cancelled the Christmas special of MasterChef, so that's a relief. However, they will continue with MasterChef The Professionals, so we're allowed to look at Gregg's nefarious face for the duration of that series, because apparently it offers great opportunities to the contestants. It actually doesn't. It's a terrible programme. It's the worst of the franchise. None of those programmes are all that good, but hey-ho. But let's talk about the thing about Gregg Wallace. You know, I know a few things about Gregg Wallace. Anyone in the television industry, shall we say, is not entirely surprised by his current predicament. His behaviour has been questionable over the years. What worries me now, though, is, I can't wait to see the back of him. I never want to see him on telly again, but I don't like the cancellation process. So we are now in the bandwagon stage. And the BBC, of course, turning a drama into a massive crisis, doesn't know what to do, is telling it all of its licence fee payers. The BBC is very honest and transparent about that. That's why we're looking into this story. No. The Daily Telegraph broke this story, and you at the BBC would have kept it secret if you could, like you have done for the last 15 years. So don't give us that claptrap. But as I say, they don't know what they're doing. But what interests me at the moment is this cancellation process. So it kicks off with one woman saying, oh, he said something to me that was a bit off. Then another one comes in, and before you know where you are, there's 13. Yesterday we had Vanessa Feltz making a special video for all her fans, telling of this terrible act that apparently Gregg Wallace was guilty of. Didn't happen to her, happened to someone else that she doesn't name. Melanie Sykes said that she was so traumatised by what Gregg said to her when she was on Celebrity MasterChef that she decided to quit her entire television career. Guess what he said? He said to her two things, because she used to be a model. He said, do models even eat food? And then he said, this could be good for your television career, you know, MasterChef. Those were the offensive statements that caused Mel apparently to quit television. So the bandwagon stage of the cancellation process is a joy to see, but we've seen it a million times before. Gregg Wallace isn't coming back to telly in a month of Sundays. I think in some ways he deserves his fate, but the cancellation process will make mincemeat of almost anyone. Once you're in that trap, you're never getting out, right?
Well, yeah, I'm not sure he does deserve it, to be honest. Yeah, I don't know if you know new broadcasting house at all, but there's if you approach it, there are sentries. There's also a moat full of piranha fish and Doberman pinchers and marksmen with high-velocity rifles and an electric fence.
Greg, by the way, Rod, you're missing something. You're missing the statue above the door by a paedophile.
The statue of a paedophile. Well, all that stuff is there in order to stop working-class people do anything on the BBC. Is he working class? But every so often, like happened in East Berlin, someone breaches the security and gets in. And that's what's happened to Wallace. Now, you know, I don't watch MasterChef. I'd rather watch David Lammy writing my own death certificate. But, you know, I just have no interest in it whatsoever. But the BBC wanted someone who was a bit of a geezer.
Yeah.
You know,
a pet. He was their pet. He was their pet Cockney. They pick up. They always have. They always have you know, for a couple of years on end. They have their pet working class people. Only one usually.
They have a pet working class person, and it never works out for them because, oddly enough, the pet working class person is working class and behaves in a working class manner, and that's sometimes a bit ribald. It's sometimes a bit coarse. It's sometimes not exactly what the people there are expecting. And so you have Kirsty Walk, as if she was about to join the Marcia Blaine Academy in Edinburgh, saying, well, he used sexualised language with me. Did he? Did he? And the rest of the stuff. He made me feel uncomfortable. Well, heaven forfend. And as for Melanie Sykes, you know, I'm really sorry, Mel. You spent the 90s getting your kit off for the purposes of selling lager. Do not pretend that you were offended by the somewhat sexist language of a bloke who, you know, was the target audience of your adverts. You know, I don't know Gregg Wallace. You know, obviously, you know, I'm a Millwall fan. And he's a Millwall fan, so we have that in common. But I don't think we have very much else in common. I don't know him at all. He always seemed to be slightly sharper than that absolute plank John Turode, who he's on with. I think it's John Turode, isn't it?
Yeah, John Turode, yeah.
Yeah. But this stuff is so unfair. And as Celia Walden has pointed out today, you know, if we're going to cancel someone, at least make it clear what we're cancelling them for, not for making us feel uncomfortable. You know, I think a lot of the people who said they were made to feel uncomfortable deserve to be made to feel uncomfortable. You know, it's just, it's cant and it's not right. But that being said, you're absolutely right. He is so over, as my daughter would put it. He is gone.
Yeah, he's definitely had it. He's definitely had it because he's trapped in cancellation city, and there's no exit from that. And that's what's going on now. I mean,
well, there is actually. What you have to do, I've written about this for The Spectator. What you have to do is, he probably shouldn't have told the truth and said it was largely middle-aged women of a certain middle-class women of a certain age, which was. Completely true. I mean, that's exactly true. But what he should have said was...
You're right.
What he should have said was, I am undergoing treatment for a very severe mental health ailment at the moment, and I hope that you and the press will respect my family's privacy at this very difficult time for us all. And then he might have got back, you know, through the back door.
Yeah. I'm just seeing now, Rod, literally this is just dropped on Mail Online. Shamed MasterChef presenter Gregg...
The cancellation stuff is odious.
Yeah. I agree. I totally agree. I mean, in fairness, you know, we've got to cut some of these women some slack. I think some of them... well, I'm not so worried about the middle-aged... celebrity women, but I do hear stories of, you know, young makeup girls, young production staff, you know, who were kind of made to feel very uncomfortable, upset by his behaviour. These are just the allegations. I don't know the truth.
But this is the thing. It's how did he do that? You know, we say, oh, you're... Well,
he ran around the studio. He ran around the... Yeah, it was very demure of him, really.
Very demure. Only an ankle stop.
Oh dear. Well, listen, Rod. Thank you very. So, have you written about this in the Specky this week?
Yeah, it's in for Thursday morning. Yeah.
Can't wait. Always enjoy our chats, obviously. We'll look forward to it next week. I'll see you next Tuesday, as you say.
See you next Tuesday.
Cheers, Rod. All the best, mate. The inimitable Rod Liddle. What can you say?